I played a major role in blood in Boston, you know what I mean? So now when I hear people speaking about Boston, like, oh, there was no Bloods in Boston, whatever the case may be, it's like, you know what I mean, this is a fraternity for us. So you either chosen or you not. It's not glamorizing nothing, you know what I mean, because I stand for morals and principles. So I'm not jacking nobody else's, what they stand for, I don't have an issue with that. I never was the type that abused, oppressed, did anything like that. Anybody know Montana, the way he was moving, if it was an issue, we was going. Yeah. But other than that, I never was an oppression. So now it's like you got like Kings, I'm Spanish, so it's not an issue. You got the Nietas, I'm Spanish, it's not an issue. Trinitarios, I'm Spanish, it's not an issue. Crips, they fuck with me, I already put in the pain for that. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a mutual respect because you're dealing with people that are doing life. You know what I'm saying? So when I first went upstate, I didn't respect that. I was still on county time.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. I got a special guest with me today. Why don't you tell the people your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself?
Man, you already know, man, this is Montana to the ones that know me, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Roxbury, Boston, you know what I mean? Some people know me as Prezidential GROWN with this music, you know what I mean? But I'm just here to basically shed light on that W98737, you know what I mean? That's my W number, you know what I mean? I happened to just go upstate at the age of, well, actually, I got locked up on my birthday. So that's how basically it happened, you know what I mean? So I actually have one of my childhood friends here, you know what I mean? I had called him that night. But matter of fact, I didn't call him that night. He said I should have called him that night. I probably would have got locked up. But I got locked up on my 21st birthday. I turned 21 in the back of a paddy wagon going to a party. And after that, I ended up doing 8 years upstate. Early childhood, really, it was like, you know what I mean, growing up in Boston, running around, playing basketball, playing baseball, you know what I mean, just being in the streets, you know what I mean, having fun. And then as things started to like escalate, you know what I mean, you started to just know who was who, especially if you was like in Boston public schools or if you went through the system. So now, like in this particular year, I don't know if the police was just like, you know, heavy on the rampant as far as like, stop and frisk and lock you up, you know what I mean? That was basically the protocol in our generation. So now a lot of us was locked up. So around that time, we was all in South Bay. So now when we was all in South Bay, that's when, you know what I mean, you start to see other people from your county. So I'm from Suffolk County. So that's basically gladiator school, some would call it, you know what I mean? So that's basically what Nash and South Bay was. So it prepared you. So now, as I started to do my South Bay bid, that started to, you know what I mean, get into certain situations, we ended up all getting out. So when we got out, we continued to pave the way on the streets. So now we was all like, you know what I mean, still running around doing the same thing because we all was like 18, 19, you know what I mean? And then we ended up all going upstate or going to the feds. So now the reason why I'm telling you that is because like, I played a major role in blood in Boston, you know what I mean? So now when I hear people speaking about Boston, like, oh, there was no Bloods in Boston, whatever the case may be, it's like, you know what I mean, this is a fraternity for us. So you either chosen or you not. It's not glamorizing nothing, you know what I mean, because I stand for morals and principles. So I'm not jacking nobody else's, what they stand for, I don't have an issue with that. Basically putting that there. So I just basically feel like what we was doing in the city at the time, it was just basically unifying. You know what I mean? There was a lot of us that grew up together and we was basically unifying. And now, as we started to go upstate, you had a lot of watered down shit. So now, moving forward, when I went upstate, being from Boston, you were around Springfield, Worcester, you know what I mean, Lowell, Lawrence, Lynn, like a whole bunch of different counties that you wouldn't encounter in gladiator school. You know what I mean? So now, to basically conquer that, was a whole obstacle in itself. But due to the fact that we was already the knuckleheads in the system, they basically just threw us into something that we was already used to doing. So now they was like, yo, you about to go upstate. We about to have an upstate party, bring your shanks, bring your, you know what I mean, canteen. That's basically what dudes are saying, right? So now dudes like, oh shit. Cause you know the unknown is always like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen, you know what I mean? So you hearing your friends going up there, this one got jumped, that one got stabbed, whatever. So you're like, oh shit, I'm about to go to Walpole. But Walpole is not really Walpole at the time, you know what I mean? I don't really care what people telling you, unless you like the older generation, Walpole wasn't Walpole. But like, when I got up there, it was like 2011. So Walpole wasn't really Walpole, it was still intake, you know what I mean? So once we hit Walpole, we ended up getting to a brawl with some dudes from Worcester. over some basketball shit, you know what I mean? So now it had nothing to really do with colors, but it was just all Boston dudes banding together. It wasn't no, oh, you're a GD, you're a Vice Lord. It was just like, nah, we're from Boston, this is what's going on. So it's like, that's what the whole entity was with that. So now once the colors started to get into play, it started to get kind of confusing, you know what I mean? Because you have childhood friends who basically feel like, you know, like you're picking something over them.
Right.
When in actuality, it's like, yo, it's either in you or like, you know what I'm saying? It's not on you. You can't choose where you from, you know what I mean? Your neighborhood's your neighborhood. Your friends are your friends. So now that started to become a dilemma for me and a lot of people that I was cool with, because dudes from my neighborhood that weren't blood, they're like, damn, bro, you know what I'm saying? We got to be cool with these other dudes that we don't really know. And this dude's a clown, that dude's a clown, you know what I mean? They feel some type of way, but they be like, we know you. We know you going to give it up, you know what I mean? So as time started to go on, you know what I'm saying? It started to mesh. So when it started to mesh, it started to become what it really is supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? Which is like, you don't got to be blood. I never tell you to be blood, like, but that doesn't change who I am, where I'm from, what I represent, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Boston. I can't change that, you know what I'm saying?
You ever feel like were getting pulled two different ways? Like, these are the friends that, like you said, I didn't choose. You don't choose where you know, this is just where I grew up, but these are my friends that I do choose. You ever caught in the middle of that, or is it just more of a unifying thing?
I was always caught in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying? Since a child, because I'm Dominican and nobody would really know that. So now growing up, it'd be like going into a situation, people like, nah, he's African American. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm black too. You know what I mean? I don't care what nobody else says. Even being Dominican, I'm Afro-Dominican. That's how I basically look at myself. You know what I mean? So now doing that, it's like, oh, nah, he's one of us. You know what I mean, technically speaking, and the Spanish people like, oh, nah, fuck this dude, you know what I'm saying? And once I start speaking Spanish, it's like, oh, nah, he wanted, so now I'm caught in the middle, so it's just something that I've always gone through. So now I always kind of find a way to bridge the gap. So I remember this older dude from Heath Street, his name was Black, he told me, he's like, yo, Montana, you know something? You got a lot of potential because you got 4 things that a lot of people don't have. You're from Boston, you one of the top bloods, you speak Spanish, and you fuck with all the black dudes, bro. How ain't you rich?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I started to learn how to really, like, build with people and stuff like that. But when I first went up there, I was a knucklehead. You know what I mean? I used to always be like, I'm a goon, I'm that dude, you know what I'm saying? Because I used to be like, crashing out was fun. Like,
you think that was just because you were so young at first?
I think it was because I lacked education. You know what I mean? Because the more I started to read, the more I started to think.
What was your education level going into prison? Did you not have a...
I graduated high school, bro, from Charlestown High. So now my thing was just basically I didn't like to read. My IQ's enough where it's like I could get by, you know what I'm saying? But once I went to jail, I did so much solitary confinement time that I had no other choice but to look at myself. I had no other choice but to read. I had no other choice but to be like, break myself down, you know what I mean? So it's like, the reason why I really wanted to come here is because I seen a lot of people, you know what I mean, that came on your podcast, you know what I'm saying, and they spoke their truth, and I was right there with them, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be a fight that I seen them get into, or it be like we passing some shit in the hole to each other, or you know what I mean? So it hit different. It's like, okay, nah, this is different, because this is basically like if you was to come to DDU and go to each one of our cells, I'll say the first 5 dudes on your page, we're all in a row next to each other in cells.
Break down, what is DDU and how much time did you get in there?
So that's the Department of Disciplinary Unit. So basically I was always in and out of DDU because they basically painted me as the figure, as the head, you know what I'm saying? So they had me as the head of the blood. So every time something happened, they put me in the hole. Just hit me with trumped-up charges. So now what was crazy was the only people who would really advocate for this was PLS. When the CO got stabbed in the neck, I was on the unit for that. So now, prior to that, we was all in the visiting room, and one of the officers did some outlandish shit to some of these visits. So now we're like, yo, listen, you guys be doing a lot of fuck shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, one day that shit's gonna come back. So now it happened to be like 2 weeks later, the officer disrespects this person, and he starts doing all type of outlandish shit, throwing away his shit. They get into it. So now this starts to spark a big ass situation with the officers and all the inmates and convicts that's there, because it's 2 different people, inmates and convicts, you know what I'm saying? From there, the Bloods was hated, you know what I'm saying? And every time something happened, it was like, nah, Montana did it. Montana did it. We was getting into major brawls, Montana did it. So every time they sent me to DDU, the violence would calm down. Then they send me back from DDU, it'd come back up, but then I try to control it, but it'd be like, you can't really control men. You know
How
what
long
I'm
are
saying?
these stays? Like a couple months?
2 years
That's-
altogether. In my 8-year sentence, I probably did 6 years solitary confinement altogether.
DDU, wow.
Yeah, not in DDU, just from the
Okay.
county
Everything
to DDU.
combined.
The longest I did in DDU was probably like 28 months.
Yeah.
And then I got out, and as soon as I got out, they put me on the bus, took me to Susan Baranowski, and put me right in the hole and sent me back to DDU for another year. Yeah. So it was like they was treating me like Con Air. You know what I mean? One day I'll be here, next day I'll be there. You know what I mean? And it'd just be like the officers would abuse their power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the reason why they would abuse their power is because they would sit there and listen to us talk on the airwaves. So the airwaves is basically when you behind the door and you talking to your mans and he's behind another door. So now they'll just sit back and listen.
Yep.
So certain people don't really be mindful on your business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they'll just throw that out there. So now they'll listen, they'll start to figure things out, and then they'll come over and they'll be like, yeah, man, that dude over there, he's talking about you, X, Y, and Z.
Wow.
So they'll start to do things like that, start political propaganda. So political propaganda is when I be like, yeah, he's a rat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Why do you think they start? Why?
Because
Are they
certain
bored,
people,
or is it from the administration down? Like
I would say it's from the administration, because you have a lot of influential people. So they label me as an influential gang member. That's what they used to call me. I used to be like, yo, I'm not a gang member. You know what I'm saying? Because my definition of a gang member is somebody that'll do anything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not willing to do anything. You know
where do you
what I'm
Where do you draw the line?
Where my principles and morals, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what my fraternity teaches me, bro. My principles and morals. You know what I'm saying? And I stand on those. Everything's grown. If it ain't grown, I leave it alone, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I never was the type that abused, oppressed, did anything like that. Anybody know Montana, the way he was moving, if it was an issue, we was going.
Yeah.
But other than that, I never was an oppression. So now it's like you got like Kings, I'm Spanish, so it's not an issue. You got the Nietas, I'm Spanish, it's not an issue. Trinitarios, I'm Spanish, it's not an issue. Crips, they fuck with me, I already put in the pain for that. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a mutual respect because you're dealing with people that are doing life. You know what I'm saying? So when I first went upstate, I didn't respect that. I was still on county time where it's like, okay, boom.
Right.
And they're like, yo, bro, every time you come on a unit, bro, you get into fights, locked down 2 weeks, bro. Like, just relax, bro. You know what I mean? But you're not looking at it like that. You're like, in the county, as soon as I see my ops, it's on site. You know what I'm saying? Up there, it's on site. But after a while, it's like, how many times is it going to be on site till it's like, damn, now you can't come out?
When's that mindset change like that? That's a big...
I'll say it changed like after 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I went through so much, bro. Like they had me locked down and I was just like so filled with energy, bro. Like every time I come out, a ball full of energy, but they would never give me an opportunity. So a lot of people behind the wall with me, they would leave and be like, damn, bro, they advocate like, yo, get Montana out the box. Y'all got my man in the box for years. What y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? He ain't even do nothing. And then I would always tell the administration straight up, I'd be like, yo, y'all got me sent in a hole for false allegations. You might as well just let me get out. You know I'm gonna get into something, and then just get me the fuck out the way. You know what I'm saying? Y'all basically holding me down. So like I'll say the hardest shit that hit me was basically like, you know what I'm saying, my brother's child's mother was going through her own situation. And I was trying to write him to explain to him about her situation, and they basically intercepted the letter. And they basically intercepted it because it signed at Montana. So now he never got the letter. Make a long story short, she ends up passing away. Wow. So now I always feel like, damn, y'all got me on a mail monitor to the point where it's like I couldn't even send out a family letter to probably get a person the help they need, and she died, bro.
That feels personal.
I forever hated the system after that. I forever hated the system. So it's like once I came home and I was like, okay, now I have no reentry. I have to rehabilitate myself because I just wrapped up from the hole. You know what I'm saying? So what do? I stand on my morals and my principles. You know what I mean? I'm not snitching. I'm not doing nothing. I'm understanding that I have to get a job. I have to work a job. Now I have to find a business. Why? Because them years and them hours and the minutes and them seconds that I took to read and took to build and talk to lifers and tell them I'm going to go out there and do this. And they was like, all right. And some didn't believe me. I have to do that now. Yeah. I have to do that because there's a lot of forgotten faces. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this awareness right here, it's just so much to say where it's like I can't even get it out all in one sit, you feel me? And then being so real, I feel like I can't even keep it as raw as I want to get, you know what I mean? But it's just like, bro.
But a lot of times what's understood don't gotta be said too, and people could feel it and everything like that. And doing all that solitary time, like what's something you've learned about yourself?
Yo, I learned that I don't like people, bro. When I say people, I don't mean like I don't like you, but I mean like I like my personal space.
You found solitude in that?
I found solitude because now sometimes, you know what I mean, you might just want to sit and think to yourself, and the next person might feel like you're thinking about them, or there's an issue with them, and then they'll be all up in your face like, yo, we good, bro?
Yeah.
You everything all right? Like, nah, bro, I'm straight. Are you sure, bro? They'd be like, yo, bro, leave me the fuck alone. Now it's like, yo, bro, why are you treating me like this? It's like, yo, it's not really that. It's just, I've been sitting in the bathroom for years, bro. You know what I mean? I don't really want to, and then you're talking to me about some dumb shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, respectfully, I feel like the biggest quote that I read that changed my life was, it was a quote that says, learn from other people's mistakes because you'll never live long enough to learn them all on your own. That shit changed my whole perception of shit. You know what I mean? I started to listen to people because I'm like, all right, what you do? All right, why you do that for? You know what I mean? Then I start to ask questions because it's like, yo, what you've been doing hasn't worked. So now when people look at Bloods, regardless of where it started or where it's at, they're never gonna respect it because you have to show them that it's not just gang signs, it's not just color. You gotta let them know what it stands for. Because if you don't know what something stands for, you're not gonna understand. You know what I mean? So now, realistically, what I stand for is basically social injustice, bro. So now, if you're going through some shit, and I'm in jail, bro, I already went through it. So now it's like, yo, hold on. I know your basic rights, bro. I'm gonna tell you, you don't even gotta talk to him. Because I learned that. Because I wanna be able to learn my enemy. Because you're not gonna just throw me away again. You know what I mean? Because I was young.
I think that's what makes us human too, is being able to, like, you don't see other really animals in the kingdom learning from the previous generations, right?
Exactly.
And that's why we're able to surpass all of that, and we're the apex predator because of our intelligence in that exact thing, like you said, learning from other people, you know what I mean? And that gets passed down to the generations and generation. That way we all shouldn't have to make the same mistakes, and that's why I like having people come up here to tell their story, so hopefully someone can avoid going through the things that we had to go through, and it kind of makes it worth it. Like if one person got something and it prevented them from going away, it kind of makes what we had to go through worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I'd tell you like this, bro. My biggest joy, right, is when dudes get out and they see what I'm doing with the music shit. They be like, yo, bro, we heard you lit with the music. And I be like, bro, they don't even understand that it's not even about the music. It's about setting the platform. Once I got a big enough platform, we gonna spin it to something else. Because the music is just to bring awareness. But once you got awareness, now it's like what you gonna teach the people. You know what I mean? So that's really what it comes down to.
It's about the people. And that's why I like doing this here too, because people come up here, they're artists, they have a following, fan base that listen to the music, but sometimes they may not know the story, and I think that's what's great about getting these stories out here and for people to see the people side of it.
So I'm gonna tell you this one story. I'm on 10 block, right, in Walpole.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So now, there's a big situation that happens, basically. They basically backdoor me. So I'm going to get a haircut. So I had dreads at the time. So I'm going to get a haircut, I'm with my boys. So now they're saying that we got beef and stuff with these dudes. So I'm going through the hallway, whatever. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm not even gonna go cut my hair. Fuck it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just basically seeing the movement. So now I'm like this, because I'm patting my head because I got dreads and shit. So now whatever, I go back to unit, yo, these dudes come and get me the next day talking about that I called off a gang hit and that basically now I gotta go to Walpole. So I end up going to Walpole. So I'm sitting in Walpole for like 6 months. So now they end up having the riot. So when they have the riot in fucking, on P1, they end up sending all them dudes over there to Walpole. So now we start tearing up the whole 10 block and all that stuff. So now they're like, yo, listen, Montana, if something happens, we just gonna snatch you up. So now this dude, I think he was from H block. I think his name was D-Boy. It's this young dude. So he didn't get fed. So now this dude named TG, he was already down for like 20 years or something like that. So he's like, yo, listen, we're not giving back our trays. So I'm like, yo, I'm cool with that, but they gonna come to me first. And I just got brought down here for not giving them my tray upstairs because we had a whole situation upstairs. She's like, nah, we just gonna keep the trays, don't worry, everything's good. So I'm like, all right. So boom, they come to like, yo, I'm trashing trays. So I'm like, yo, beat it. So like, what? Da-da-da. So I'm like, yo, beat it. So now everybody don't give them the trays. So boom, they come, you know, they suit up, they do all that. So now the dude's like, hey, little bro, kicking the tray, man, we proved our point. I said, what? He's like, yeah, we proved our point. So now they end up cuffing me up. They're like, yeah, now you fucked up. So they take me all the way to the fucking, to the med. They take me all the way to the med joint in the triage, and they start beating me up while I'm cuffed up. So
How many of them?
It was like probably like 5 of them. So now they start beating me up. They put me in my boxes, all that shit. So they're like, yeah, basically you're on medical status. I'm like, what the fuck that mean? So it's like, yeah, you don't get no mail, you don't get no phone calls, no nothing. So mind you, I remember it was on Martin Luther King Day. So now I'm sitting up there. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So I open up the window. So I'm screaming across to the dudes. I'm like, yo, bro, call my peoples and tell them that they got me basically hostage, bro. Like they're not letting me use the phone or nothing. So I end up calling. My lawyer call up there. They acting like I got sent somewhere else. Like this is the shit that they do. So now they end up like after 3 days, they end up sending me back to 10 blocks. So now I'm on down there, so I'm telling them like, yo, bro, these dudes have violated me, boom, boom. So they still got me in my boxes. So now I'm like, yo, when the fuck y'all gonna give me my property? So it's like, oh yeah, well, if you play nice, we'll give you your property. So I'm like, what? After like 2 days, they give me my property. So now they give me my sneakers, they pissed in my sneakers. They did all this foul shit. And it's like, bro, you're in a position of power. I'm behind the cage. To come out my cell, you have to put me in cuffs. To fight you, it's like 100 of y'all. And y'all are suited up like the Ninja Turtles. So it's like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? And then if I write you up so I could protect myself, so when I whip your ass later, I'm snitching. Like, what are you doing, bro? My people's coming up there, you're lying to them, telling them other girls is coming to see me so that they don't come up no more. Like, these people play dirty.
What's the best way to go about trying to, get that rectified?
Don't go to jail. Like, don't go to jail, bro. Like, I'm being real with you, bro, because
there's
it's
nothing
like,
you can do, essentially.
Like my people will tell you right now, bro, it don't matter how many, it don't matter how many people tell their story from jail. When it's happening, there's nothing anybody could do. I don't give a fuck. They can send people after, whatever. It's too late. You got violated, bro. It's too late.
You know what I mean? They don't know what goes on out there, and that's why we're doing stuff like this, man. So what would you say is like the worst part about having to go through that prison thing? Is it putting your family through it? Is it the humiliation ritual of stripping every time you gotta go to a visit? What's the worst part?
I think the most dehumanizing shit I ever did was fish through a toilet. Put some sheets together and actually pull some food up through a toilet and eat that shit and feel like it was the best thing in the world. Like, I felt like that is the most dehumanizing shit. But while you're doing it, you feel so content because it's like, yo, okay, they're wrapping it up, they're putting it in the bag. I still got to dehumanize myself and rip up these bags, but at least the cinnamon roll is still a little warm. What type of way of thinking is that, bro? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, what are we to do, bro? You know what I mean? They're doing better now. They're giving them tablets, all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? They're doing better now. But it's like, realistically, everything's money.
That's at the end of the day. That's what I always say. If you follow the dollar, like what doesn't make sense morally, like it'll make sense financially. So
now this go around, I end up getting out, right? I end up getting out after doing the 8. I got out in 2018. So now pushing forward, 2018, I'm out. You know what I mean? 2019 hit. I catch a little case in Rhode Island. High-speed chase, I'm sleeping in the passenger seat. They find drugs on me. They find a gun in the car. Boom, I get out on bail. Now I'm fighting my bail and my probation. This is a true story. While I'm going through this situation, I start working at Amazon. So while I'm working at Amazon, I'm about to have a kid, all this shit, you know what I mean? I ends up getting into a situation. Boom. Once I get into the situation, the officers feel however they feel. They detain me, they let me go. Boom. 3 weeks later, they end up locking up one of my friends just because they seen him in the area. So now this happens, I know I got a warrant. It's like, you locking this dude up, this dude don't even got nothing to do with anything at all. What are y'all gonna do to me? Right. You know what I'm saying? So I end up going on the run. So now my whole mindset at that time was like, damn, I just did all that time. I just went through that whole situation with dehumanizing myself. I can't do that so soon. They're gonna just have to catch me when they can. You know what I'm saying? I got this open case in Rhode Island. Now you trying to catch me for this situation where you saying I shot at somebody. So now I basically got low. So while I'm doing that, this girl, you know what I mean? She's supposed to be the homie. She's like, yo, I got you. Help me move. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna help her move. Mind you, this is all on transcripts. You know what I'm saying? It's all on papers. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I did my time. So now I help her move. So while I'm helping her move, whatever the case may be, boom, the police get behind it, state police. So now I got a warrant. So I happen to have a gun on me. So she's like, oh, now we're good. I'm trying to hop out the car. She locked the door like, nah, just chill, boom, boom. State police from Rhode Island come over like, yeah, license and registration. She give him license and registration. You know why I'm pulling you over? She's like, no. Oh, because the girl in the back seat don't got her seatbelt on. So I already know he's on some bullshit. So now once he does that, he tries to pull me out the car. So when he tries to pull me out the car, I basically hops out the car real quick, pat frisks me, put me back in the car. So now when he comes back, he's like, what's your name? So I give him a wrong name. Boom. Make a long story short, he tried to take me out the car again. He tried to tase me. I get missing on him. He missed me. I got missing. I ended up in Georgia. They're kicking the door. So once they end up kicking the door like a month later, you know what I'm saying, they end up extraditing me to Rhode Island to face my charges. So I get arraigned for that. You know what I mean? After that, I get bailed there, and then I get sent back out here to Mass, you know what I mean? And I get arraigned for the situation that I was down for, and then my probation. So I'm telling you all that for a reason, because God's real. So now, boom, I ends up going through that. So now I'm sitting at Nash. My birthday's coming up. I'm like, damn, I'm about to have a kid. My birthday's coming up. I'm expecting my birthday. Damn, Kobe dies. Damn, COVID happens. So now I'm like, damn, COVID happens. So now I'm telling the officers, listen, the governor, this is me telling you, the governor put out a state emergency saying that everybody got to have masks. I'm coming out my cell every day with my shirt on. You can't do that. What you mean I can't do that? I got to cover my face. You can't do that. So we all start writing grievances. They bring us masks, right? How's about I was one of the first people in Suffolk County to catch COVID?
Wow.
How's about that was my way back on the streets to be able to hold my child?
So
you know
everything happens for a reason.
So listen to me. I'm telling you this for a reason. Because now, Rhode Island and Massachusetts, anybody that's ever been in either system know they don't fuck with each other. Massachusetts tell you I don't care about Rhode Island. Rhode Island tell you I don't care about Massachusetts. So this is what happened. When I bailed from Rhode Island to come and get extradited to Massachusetts, once I made bail, they was like, yo, listen, just don't go to Rhode Island. So they put me on the GPS. I sat on house arrest for how long? Like what, 3-4 months? My bracelet died on me. Literally, I fell asleep holding my kid. I forgot to charge my bracelet. They said, nah, fuck that. We don't even know how you're out. Like, you know, we don't even know how you're out. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? We're going to just hold you to your final surrender hearing. So now I'm like, damn, like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? So now that sparked a movement within itself where a lot of people started writing letters and advocating like, yo, hold on, this dude, he's been out here actually doing stuff. He's changed and he's on house arrest. I was selling clothes, selling CDs out my house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have to do that. And that's how I used to provide for my child, you know what I mean? And that was only like 3 months. So I got teachers advocating for me. I got business people advocating for me and all that. So now my probation officer was like, yo, listen, I don't have an issue following what his lawyer want to do. You know what I mean? He got this whole other case. So they made a decision to be like, yo, we're going to give you 2 years in House of Corrections. All right, cool. So now I'm still fighting the other case. They have no evidence, no nothing. So, you know what I mean? You're basically saying that I did something. You don't have no gun. You don't have no evidence. So now my lawyer's like, yo, listen, the DA said he's willing to run it concurrent if you take 2.5 years with 6 months probation. I said, I'm not taking probation. I've been on probation since I was 16, bro. I'm not taking probation, bro. I'm not probation candidate.
Especially doing time. If it's just probation, that's one thing, but not doing both.
Yeah, that's what I told him. So then I was like, yo, tell him, fuck it, we're going to trial. Said, all right, listen, he said he'll just give you 2 years, ran concurrent with your 2 years, and he'll make it just like 18 months for a gun that he never found. And you just do it like that. I said, all right, fuck it, because I'm playing for the door, not for my innocence. My record's fucked up. I don't care about my record no more. Respectfully, you know what I'm saying? So now I did that. So now I'm in South Bay. Now it's like, damn, I went from upstate, now I'm back in high school.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I got kids
backwards.
telling me, this is my phone. Like, what? I keep it. So once I did that, then they basically like, yo, you got to go to Rhode Island. So when I'm doing my bid in South Bay, I end up having to go to Rhode Island. So they drive me to Rhode Island, so I'm out there. Damn. So while I'm out there, bro, when I tell you, bro, them Rhode Island dudes, they're different. Respectfully, they're real
ACI.
people. Yeah, but there's real people everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say there's not real people everywhere. So I get into a fight with this dude from Philly. He had a bad day. I guess his mother died. We get into it over the phone. He tell me, give me the phone. He phone checked me. He got that. I blasted him. Once I stole him, I thought I was going to knock him out. Yeah, bro. Philly dudes like to fight, bro.
What's the politics over there? I don't know much
the
about
politics
Rhode
in Rhode
Island.
You know, everybody's from somewhere. Everything's streets, colors, everything. It's not no difference, you know what I mean? But over there, it's just a lot more like, they have a lot more control over how they do things.
That's the last spot you was at?
Yeah, I ended up having to wrap up from there.
What year was that?
That was 2022, I wrapped that up. So now, check this out. I ended up copping out over there because I didn't have no cases in Rhode Island. So basically, they don't have a mandatory minimum. They don't got a minimum mandatory out there. So what they did was they gave me 2 years too for the strap out there, made it concurrent with what I was doing, and gave me like 7 years probation, 7 years suspended. And then basically ran the 2 years concurrent. So I had to overlap like 6 months. But once I did that, and then now I'm out now, I just be like,
so you're dealing with that suspended right now over your head? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I just be like, sometimes I just be like, yo, I just don't understand people.
Okay.
Because they're people who don't have nothing over their head, no nothing, and they just like, they play with life, bro.
What's been the most important thing to you think about staying free?
My support system, music. I like more, I'm falling more in love with like helping people that do music. You know what I mean? Because I feel like you're only gonna get so old. And yeah, you can still entertain, but sometimes you gotta understand when it's somebody else's turn.
Well, plus it's the helping others part of it anyway. Exactly. Whatever it is, music or anything, it's just good to help other people. Man. I think so. The older we get, because you know, you got to be in a certain position to be able to help people. You know, if you're not, if you're all messed up in the game, you ain't gonna be able to help anybody.
It's a mental thing sometimes too. Sometimes you might look good on the outside and you just shitted all fucked up in the inside. You know what I mean? So. Like, I'll say, like, once I came out, the illest shit that I feel like I did right now, you know what I mean? Today's my man Icy's birthday, rest in peace, so I'm gonna have to put that out there. But I feel like the illest shit was that Jim Jones shit. When Jim Jones came to K's Oasis and we turned that shit up, man, and we gave one of these Lottie hats and everything, and dudes are speaking big on Boston, I felt like, you know what I mean, that was something big for bro, you know what I mean? Because he definitely would have been there, you know what I mean? And it's just like, that type of energy, like, it's something positive.
Right.
It's not no more, yo, Tanner's booked for a shooting. Yeah, bro, he's crazy. Now it's like, yo, bro, that nigga did that, bro. Yeah, this nigga's doing the jacket shit. Yeah. It's like more positive, you know what I mean, energy.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like it's kind of a disservice to you in the past, to you that was locked up, that was like, when I get out, I'm gonna do all this stuff. And then if you don't do it, it's like a disservice to yourself of the past, that person that was in jail, prison, really struggling, getting through every day. So to come out here and be able to do stuff like that and look back where you just was, that's amazing. And I think that's just an inspirational story for anybody. And people should be inspired and not hate when they see other people kind of doing things like, yo, if he could do it, I could do it. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got the same resources.
I used to listen to my man Stizzy Left Lane every Sunday. You don't even know. I used to listen to him on the radio, and it used to really motivate us. Like, we used to be like, when you listen to somebody on the radio that you actually know, it gives you that extra step. Like, you know, nah, my man was just on the radio, bro.
That's fire.
You know what I'm saying? And or that phone call. But like, because I did so much solitary confinement, I fell in love with just writing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I used to just write letters, write books, write rhymes. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that was therapeutic.
That's a dope outlet. What advice would you give to somebody that just came home today, man, and they asked you for advice, man?
I would say take your time. And when I say take your time, just write objectives and goals. 90 days, bro. Give yourself 90 days, bro. No social media, no nothing, bro. 90 days with your family, 90 days with you, 90 days with just like trying to understand what's going on. Then after you get them 90 days, I feel like you should have a job already. You should already, you know what I mean, have a little bit of clothing or whatever, you know what I mean? Then from there, use the little resources that you got, because you're gonna bump into people while you're out. So now it's like, use them little resources. Don't just call everybody right away. Take your time to like vet through who's who. Like, okay, what he got going on? Okay, does he really have something positive going on? If that's what you want to do,
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just come home and they already know who to call.
Right.
I'm calling the brick man. I'm calling the gun connect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could do either whatever you want to do.
It's tough to be half in, half out, though. You know what I mean?
But this is
you
what I'm
gotta
trying
take
to
your
tell
freedom
you.
Seriously.
Whatever you want to do,
You could do.
You can do. So if you could put your mind to such a complicated game, because the drug game is very, very complicated. I don't care what nobody says. Compared to going to work,
the risks are much different. Your life's on the line. So
Somewhere
you're
else.
used to high risk situations, man. You could take that into the world, man. I believe that.
Bro.
What about the youth, bro? I always like to, maybe a message to the youth. If you had to go speak at DYS right after this, man, what are some things you think you would say?
man, I tell them tough times don't last, tough people do.
Talk that
You
talk.
know what I mean? That's it, man. So, like, if you're going through something tough, man, if you're tough enough to go through it, just know that you're tough enough to change and you're tough enough to do something better.
Yeah.
Because there's going to always be an institution. I tell people, I think I was telling somebody today, the 4 places I like to stay away from is jail, the hospital, the judge, yeah, basically courts, and cemeteries, bro. Those are 4 places I don't like to really go, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll go show respect and stuff,
Absolutely.
but I feel like those places I don't like to go, bro. I don't like to visit jail. I don't really like to go to court. I don't really like to go to the hospital. I don't really like, you know what I'm saying, unless I have to, because it's a trauma there. It's trauma there, bro. So it's a trigger. Just like you be dealing with a shorty, and then the next shorty say some weird shit, you like, that shit trigger me.
Yep.
It's like, yo, bro, I gotta go to the hospital. Yo, what happened, bro? You good? Yo, what happened? Yo, nah, bro, I just gotta go get a physical. I'm like, oh, all right. That's that trauma, bro.
It's important to recognize those triggers and even know what that word is. A lot of people don't even know what that word is, man. And I appreciate you coming through. I don't know if there's something that you wanted to touch on that you didn't get a chance to.
man,
Just some closing words, bro.
All I'm gonna say is, man, you know what I mean? W98737, man, you know what I mean? K. We putting a K at the end of that, man, you know what I'm saying? Because that's over with. But I'm basically definitely pushing this Prezzy Grown shit, man, you know what I mean? Check me out on all platforms, you know what I'm saying? But I'll leave y'all with this. I'm tired of the back seats. I'm tired of the top bunks. I'm ready for a change, and I'm tired of them handcuffs. Tired of being broke. I gotta get my grams up. I'm tired of getting stopped, and I gotta put my hands up. Tell me when it's gonna change. Maybe when I cop a range, take a trip to DR, first class on the plane. I'm telling you it's not a joke. I cried from 30 broke. Dial to connect so I could shower with the Dow soap. That's on Pope Francis. I pray for some better coke with Kiki Palmer and the benzo getting choked. Whoa, and my future look bright. Marty McFly to the future been twice. Space Jam's on this and brand new ice. Seen 40 flip his case and they gave him back his life. Damn, Jim ain't die, brought Bam Bam back, he ain't touched the sky, got Pritch in the passenger, Taz in the challenger, Stacks never caught that case, it wasn't Attica, me I would've used my head, should've thought about it, should've been a step ahead, but I was young and wildin', wasn't really thinking about Brett, cause I was young and wildin'.
Get it. Good shit,
Oh,
bro.
man.
Hey, man.
Damn, I ain't even finish it.
It's all
finish
good,
it right,
bro.
but
It's
yeah.
all good. No, you killed that shit. I appreciate you guys. It is what it is. This is the Bounce Back Podcast. I'm your host, B. Luke. Got my man Prezzy with me. One more time.
Presidential GROWN, Montana, man. You know the vibes, bro. Shout outs to the Joe, man. We in Roxbury, man. JP, man. You know the vibes, man. You know where we started at. You know where we finish at. Man, there's a whole lot of 42 behind that, man. And this is how we doing it.
Let's go 617 type shit. Guys, it is what it is. What's next is what
Live.
you make it. We out of here.
Bounce back, you got a moment when they see you down this